Peace, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel, Your Soul's Passion Consultant. I'm hopping on here because last night and this morning, I was able to do some womb alchemy work on myself. So shout out to D-Ray, the healing coach. She's also here on YouTube. Check her out. Good information, good coach, good motivation. She has a good way of showing different perspective on how to look at things. So I'm going through a boot camp with her. So immediately I get offline with her and I start to do some womb work, which carries me into the night and into a dream and to a realization of my experience coming into womanhood, which would for me would be at 10 years old when I got my period. That was an eye-opener for me this morning, and that experience and what it did to my mental, my thoughts, my mindset, which later has placed some traumas and thought processes in my womb, which I'm learning is the thing that is causing, one of the things that's causing the infertility. So this morning I had a dream. I'm not going to go deep into the dream, but I had to realize that the first moment of me walking into my womanhood and getting my period, my association with a period was negative. That day when I woke up, I was 10 years old, it was summertime, and it was a normal day. And of course, you go to the bathroom, you use it, and you notice, okay, something's different. So I do have an older sister. She's a couple years older than me. And I remember going to her saying, I think my period started. And she was busy in her own world in the bed. She was actually sleeping in my mom's bed, watching TV, relaxing. And she said, basically, shoo, like, no, it's not. Your period's not coming. It's probably coming, but that's not your period. Like, she didn't want to be bothered. So I was like, okay, fine, move on. And then I had a younger sister, and I didn't feel comfortable talking to her because she's younger than me. And then I called my mom. I said, Mama, I think my period started. Yeah, my mom's at work, single parent mom. So she's at work, working, her 9 to 5. And I tell her, I said, I think my period is started. And it was kind of like one of those things, well, you know what to do. The pads are underneath the sink and, handle your business. And it's like, well, how do I put on the pad? Like, what am I doing? Like, I know this is something that happens, and I know that, you have pads, but how do I install the pad in my panties? Like, what side I was just lost. I was just, you think, oh, it's simple. Just take the sticker off on the back, the paper off on the back, and place them in your underwear. But for me, I needed more. I guess I needed more attention. I needed more direction. And my mom was at work, and so she couldn't provide that direction. So that's fine. I just let it be. I figured it out and, took a shower and got ready for the day. And I remember later on that day, my grandmother came over. This will be my dad's mom. She came over, and she was very active in our lives. So if it was, summertime, she was present. She had activities for us to do. She had things for us to do, traveling and all of that good stuff. So this day she came over and we were going to wrap coins, pennies, dimes, quarters. She bought the wrappers so that we can wrap them and then cash them in at the bank. And in that moment, I was just like, I don't feel like being bothered. I'm on my period. You know how it is, ladies. You don't want to be bothered. You just want to be left alone. And she comes in the room saying, oh, I hear you're a woman now. And I'm like embarrassed. Like, who told you? And I'm like, okay, of course my mom told her, but it's like there was so much shame around it that I didn't want anyone to know because I felt so icky. I felt so disgusting inside. I felt nasty, even though I wasn't. Like, I was clean. I took a shower. But that was the feeling I had, just coming into my cycle and, and coming into my womanhood. But she came in and she had a smile on her face about it. It was just like she was welcoming into it. But that's not how I took it. I actually started to think like, and I asked the question in my naive way of thinking as a 10-year-old. I said, so do only Black people get periods? Do Black women only get periods? And my grandmother was like, no, like all women get periods. Like this is for all women. So that was just the huge disconnect I had of what a period was, um, what was happening to my body, who gets periods. So it was just huge disconnect. And so she was like, no, all women gets periods. And so I'm like, okay. So that took time to process. I also remember what I had on that day. I had on a jean skirt. After I got dressed for the day, I got on a jean skirt. And I remember the skirt being restrictive, like, jean material is pretty restrictive. It's not the most comfortable thing to wear. But I had on a skirt. So I was, in my feminine energy by wearing a dress or a skirt. But I just remember being restricted and not being relaxed. So, and then I also remember, yes, we were wrapping coins so that we can cash them in. And so I'm like, well, as I'm thinking this morning, after I did my journaling last night and I'm decoding my dream that I had, I said, well, did I associate me coming into womanhood, feeling disgusting, feeling nasty, feeling unclean, unkept for myself, even though that was not the case? And then now we're wrapping coins. So I'm beginning to think, was that the onset, or not even the onset, but was that furthering my scarcity mindset, which then lays, within my womb, to where I have a hard time flowing because I'm afraid of not having enough. I'm afraid of, the next time we're short. So I had to think, I said, was subconsciously, was I telling myself that we have to wrap these coins because this is the money that we need to survive? I don't know. So I'm asking myself those questions this morning. I'm doing that in my meditation. And so because it is unclear what was really going on in my mind, I began to repaint that experience by, for one, affirming myself in this moment that your period is not unclean. You're not unkept. It's actually a natural thing. You want to menstruate. It's a natural detox. When you are detoxing, your body is operating as designed. It's an honor to have this natural way of detoxing. Instead of a restrictive jean dress that day, I put myself in a flowery pleated skirt, and I allowed myself to dance around the living room and embrace the fact of me coming into womanhood. And I felt my womb I feel it right now too, just even saying it. I felt twinges in my womb, just kind of like awakening that space. I also told myself, again, when you're menstruating, your mind is not always your strongest version of yourself. So instead of thinking of us wrapping coins as a lack, or not having enough money, so now we just gotta use these coins here, I thought of it as, this was abundance. I thought of as my grandmother coming over, showing abundance that we had. And I even envisioned myself, playing in the coins, dumping the coins all on the table and letting them go everywhere. And just knowing that as I came into as I came into my womanhood, that on that day, that specific day, my grandmother was showing me the abundance that we have in this family, the royalty that we have in this family. It was showing me that there will be fruits that come from my womb, because we had many dimes, many pennies, many quarters, many nickels. It was a lot. She came up with a nice amount of coins and, work for us to do. And it was showing me like I said, the abundance, the fruits. So I went ahead and allowed that be that day so that I can unlock some traumas that have set in my womb for many years, and repainted that picture for my day. And it really helped. It helps my mind. It put a smile on my face. It made me lighter this morning. Just really grateful. And then I furthered the conversation with my sister, and the conclusion we came to, we're no longer going to call it our periods. I'm just saying that because that was the for the audience, for you guys to be able to relate and know, but we're going to call it our flow, which if you from the old school, an old grandmother or old auntie would say, yo, your Aunt Flo has come to town, or my Aunt Flo has come to town. So that was a code word to say, yes, my cycle has come. I have another group of women, I like to call it their sacral moon. Just basically in a nutshell, I'm no longer going to associate having a period, getting my period, the week leading up to my period or my flow in a negative manner. I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to love on myself, rub on myself, and expect it to come, because it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to be able to have that natural detox and cleansing of my body, cleansing of my mind, cleansing of my soul. Because typically when I do get my flow, I notice that the next week coming, like I vibrate high, like the ideas that come once that detox, that natural detox has occurred, I am on a different vibe, on a different vibration. I feel like I work better, I get things accomplished, because I'm lighter. You've gone through a detox. So I'm grateful for the womb alchemy that I did this morning, traveling back to my 10-year-old self, talking to my 10-year-old self, embracing my 10-year-old self, and letting her know you're beautiful, letting her know you're loved, letting her know you are clean and you are well taken care of, you're provided for, and you have abundance. And the abundance that will come from your womb will be unmatched. So I'm excited. I'm excited about continuing the series with you guys here on YouTube, Pregnant on Purpose. It just more clarity comes as I continue to do the work, continue to do the traveling of going backwards to my childhood. It's uncomfortable, it's painful, it's awkward, but I've been doing it a lot lately, and it has been freeing. It has been what I needed. I feel like it's the missing piece to loving me and getting back to me. So ladies and men who are supporting your ladies in this journey, embrace your flow, embrace your sacral moon, welcome her in, have a whole situation about it. Make sure you have your candles, you have the pajamas you like to wear, you have the aromatherapy you like to have around your home, even the scents or the perfumes or oils you may put on your body. Make sure that that is a special time. Make sure you're eating the high vibrational foods. Make sure your foods are hydrating, such as fruits, hydrating vegetables, drinking your water, having your teas, so that you can ease right into that week of flow and be ready for what manifests after. So again, very grateful for this platform, very grateful for being able to sit here and tell my story. And stay tuned for part 4. Thank you for everything.